Okay, so Microsoft just wrapped up their showing for E3 2019. And you know what? It was a surprisingly pretty good conference for Microsoft. For a long time, Microsoft conferences weren't really doing much for me. Just they weren't really showing a lot of the stuff that kind of was like, going in weird directions and that. But it was a pretty good showing. They had some good stuff to show and say. Some of my big predictions in the beginning were obviously very wrong. We unfortunately still have no Banjo-Kazooie. That's still gone. But we got some stuff. So to recap the conference, so they opened up the showing off the Outer Worlds, the Obsidian game from the creators of who did Fallout New Vegas, showing off their game. Looks pretty good. It had a release window of next year's, I think around spring, so that one's coming out next year. Looks pretty good, actually. After that, they came out Ninja Theory, because Microsoft did that acquisition last year, buying them, and they showed off their new game, their 4v4 multiplayer melee focused combat game. I cannot forget the name. I forgot that they also did DMC too, but they showed off this game. It looked... I can't say much. They didn't really show gameplay. I think for me, I'm kind of just done with the... Okay, Bleeding Edge was the name. But I was kind of done with just the 4v4 kind of like class-based type combat thing. I don't know. There's been so many games after like Overwatch that came out since then, so I'm kind of done. They then transitioned into Ori, the next one, which looks great. I can't wait to get this game. This game looks really good. And then finally, Phil Spencer walks to the board, and that guy really liked Xbox in the crowd with his subtle Psychonauts shirt. So he talked about kind of what to expect for the show, that they were going to announce over 60 games, 14 games from Xbox Studios themselves. And then from there, they went into the first game of that. They showed off some more of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So kind of continuing on from what EA showed yesterday in their live stream. And still kind of said, release date still coming this year, to expect that. They then moved into a pretty beefy sized look at a Cyberpunk 2077, which, good trailer. And then they ended it off. It's like, all right, what are they going to do? Boom. John Wick, Keanu Reeves walks up. He's in the game. He came out and had a long dialogue just talking about the game's got customization, moves, things. I'm in the game. And then give a release window. So we have 4/16/2020. So it's coming pretty soon. I'm very much looking forward to it. It looks cool. They then showed off this little quirky indie game, Spiritfarer. Looked pretty good too. It looked pretty decent. Then we finally got going back a bit, because these presentations were pretty short. So they showed off this like RPG game, which it has a pretty cool art style and has like a cool look and kind of like a game to it. But I don't know. This game looks dope, but I was always like, man, the theme that's playing, it sounds so much like the Dragon Quest theme that it's almost like I'm surprised they haven't gotten sued. Like, it's too close. And they went into their indie sizzle reel, which is like, all right, that should be they show off some stuff there. I feel like I'm missing a game, which, yes, I am. I did the Blair Witch game, which I was joking. I was watching. It's like, is this Outlast 3? And they saw drop the camera and the dude chilling in a corner. Oh, what's this, Blair Witch? And it's like, oh, it is. so there's a Blair Witch game. It's a good thing I thought about that. I forgot. So they went into their indie sizzle reel and they showed, okay, we've got indies, we've got dindies. And then they went into Xbox Game Pass and talked about how Game Pass is coming to PC soon. You can check it out today. The games are coming. And there's this ultimate pass you could get. So if you want the console version and you want the PC version and gold, it's like $18 a month. It was like $15 a month, which isn't bad. It's like 180 a year, but like some pretty good deals. So they went into Game Pass and kind of talked about that. And hallelujah, Flight Simulator is back. So a console flight simulator game is coming. I'm all for this. This seems pretty cool. Hopefully they have a controller for this. Like, I want to spend the $300 on the Flight Pass controller. So please release that. That sounds dope. They just fly around, do that. So then they went into this game, Wasteland 3. I'm not familiar with the series at all, but Wasteland 3 is coming. For those who are familiar with the series, I don't know how it plays. I feel it's a strategy game, just seeing the grid and how it looks, the top down. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not too sure, so I can't really comment on it. From there, we had going back, we had Matt Booty. Yes, Matt Booty walking out to drop some booty and reveal that Microsoft now has Double Fine as well with their new acquisition. So Double Fine now is part of Microsoft, and they showed off Psychonauts 2, which, still looks good. I'm looking forward to this game, but there is still no release window or release date. So it's like the Double Fine curse still happening. They announce these cool games, but they just take so long to come out. And it's like I'm waiting for this game. I loved Psychonauts 1, but I feel we're gonna be waiting a long time, especially if they didn't give the release window yet. So moving on after that, they then went into Lego Star Wars, but this time it is the complete edition. So all 9 films in one. The Skywalker Saga, as it was called. So all 9 Star Wars films are going to be coming next year. Lego series is pretty good. I remember really enjoying the first few Lego Star Wars games. So I was like, I'm actually kind of down to get this game if it's just all of them like that. So then they went into a new Dragon Ball Z game, which for a while into this next trailer, I was like, is this Xenoverse 3? Is this, like, what is this? And it's apparently just a brand new Dragon Ball Z game, something called Dragon Ball Z Project Z Kakarot. So we'll figure out what that is early 2020. After Fighters, this has been a bit hard for me. It's like Dragon Ball Z games kind of peaked, so we'll see. Now, this was probably my favorite kind of like reveal. This game looks really interesting. So I guess to give like the quick synopsis is that the character you're playing is kind of going through this loop throughout the day, and you're having to solve this kind of thriller mystery, and the game seems like it's told in just this perspective alone, just top-down view. And it was a really well done trailer, and it's really left me like, wow, that was really cool. So this right here is probably like my the Microsoft showing was like the surprise. I was like, man, that actually really looks cool. So then moving on from there, they showed off Way to the Woods, which looking at this game, I was like, oh, I already know somebody who would call me out. They're like, this is the John game, and you know what? They're not wrong, because I was like, this game looks cool. I'm down to play this game, the Bambi Simulator game. It has a cool art style. Looks like it'd be pretty fun. Then from there, they moved on to Gears 5. They gave a pretty extended look. They had this Aphex trailer little thing happening. They talked about it's coming September. There's a new mode called Escape. They really went in on Gears 5. They spent a sizable chunk on it, kind of talking about what's coming to it. And they showed a really extended trailer of the new Escape mode, which is kind of like Horde mode in a way. And they went on. That trailer goes on for quite some time. And then Microsoft kind of screwed up. So the Gears people were like, well, we've got a surprise for you. We got something coming. I think you guys pre-order the game. And then this text pops up. Oh, Terminator Dark Fate character pack. Like, they spoiled their own reveal. I was like, oh, it's Terminator. Like, it would have been cool if maybe you didn't say that in text, but... So I was like, oh boy. They went into their new Elite controller of Series 2, which seems pretty cool. I don't really go for the Elite controllers because they're real expensive, but The thing I was kind of blasted by was like, it said like now introducing Bluetooth capability. Like it didn't have Bluetooth before, and it's like now with internal battery. I was like, did the original Elite for the Xbox One still need double A's? Like, I always found it like weird. Microsoft was still like the last like company to like stick with batteries. Like once PS3 came out and it was like, all right, you got internal, you can just charge it. I was like happy because dealing with like the Wii and all these old systems with batteries sucked. So it's like I'm happy with this approach of just, all right, here you go, just charge it and you're good. So I was like, nice. So then they went into going back a bit after that. They went into Dying Light 2. Still looks good. They kind of delved more into the story of it, kind of what it's going to be. Still looks good. They didn't give a release window though, so I don't know. It's probably going to be next year. I feel we'll definitely see it some point next year. And then my prediction of there's always going to be a car at a Microsoft showing. They did a car. Now the caveat is it was a Lego made McLaren car. So technically, is it a car on stage if it's made of Legos? But I'm going with it. It was a car on stage regardless in my one-man argument that no one is arguing. So yeah, they showed off this. Forza Horizon 4 is going to have a new Lego mode, which actually looks pretty cool. They better have the Lego block characters, like when you go to first person. I better see the block arms using the steering wheel. If they don't have that, I'm not buying it. Then from there, they went into Gears Pop. So for those of you out there who want this game, they did show off Gears Pop. It's still happening. And then they gave like kind of an extended look at State of Decay 2 with this new story mode where you have like these two branching storylines. You can kind of pick them. I didn't play too much of State of Decay 1, so I can't really speak on it. And I actually, when this came up, I was like, oh yeah, State of Decay 2 did come out. Like I forgot about it. It felt like it was like a really low-key launch when it did come out. But maybe it was just me. Because like I said, I don't have an Xbox One, so there's a lot of games I am unfortunately missing out on. Next, they went into a big one. Phantasy Star Online 2 is on Xbox One. It's like Phantasy Star is back in the US. It's been so long since like one's been out. I think Phantasy Star Portable 2 is the last one, because for a long time they just gave up on trying to bring it out here to the US. So it's cool that this series is finally back. I was like, hey, look at that. And then they went into this next game, this Crossfire, which is like, I believe a PC game. They said it was a pretty big one. I unfortunately I have not heard of it, so I can't really speak on it. And the footage they showed, I take it it's a military game. Like it's possibly maybe a strategy, a shooter, but I can't tell because it was all kind of like a cinematic trailer with slow-mo and explosions. So I don't know too much. We'll have to see more on that when they do show more. Next, we have a brand new Tales game, Tales of Rise. So the Tales series, yet again, is coming back with some new stuff. I thought for half this trailer, I was like, is this Tales? Is this God Eater? Because I know they're both made by Namco, but it wasn't until the end I was like, okay, it's a Tales game. And it's like, you know, it looks pretty good. I haven't played a Tales game in a while, so it's cool to see another one back. I always appreciate that. They showed off Borderlands 3 and kind of talked about, well, it's coming out this year. If you have Game Pass, you can get the Handsome Collection there. There's an expansion that comes out today as well alongside it to kind of bridge the narrative between number 2 and to number 3. And then they went into Elden Ring, which is the new From Software game. It was the game that was leaked a while ago. I didn't hear too much about it. I actually kind of stayed away from that thing, like from the leak that came out of the George R.R. Martin From Software game, but it did finally get revealed, and this player is going very, very slow. it's like my computer couldn't handle Elden Ring. It's like we can handle the other games, but this is too much for even us. But you know, it looks like the concept seems pretty alright so far. I don't know which direction they're gonna go into it, but definitely looking at it looks like it's gonna be stylistically a much different From Software game than we've seen it was. So we're probably gonna be getting far away from maybe like the kind of the gothicness of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Man, this really just lagged. It's really stopped. Hold on. All right, we're back in business now. So yeah, they showed off Elden Ring. It looked pretty good. And then Phil Spencer came back onto stage to kind of talk about more of the Project X Cloud and what that would be, and to get into the future of Xbox, which is where they finally started talking about their plans for next year, where they're going to have the next-gen system start rolling. So holiday 2020, we're expected to see Project Scarlet hit. Whatever the next Xbox is going to be. Is it going to be Xbox 2, Xbox something? But the next Xbox is in the works and it's coming out next year. And they kind of talked a little bit about what it would possibly do, that it could go up to 4 to 8K and have like 120 and like 120 hertz, frames per second, and all this other stuff, and that they really wanted to eliminate load time. So kind of similar to what Sony's doing. And I kind of mentioned like next year is going to be a very interesting E3 because now you're going to have Sony and Microsoft battling it out for like the next gen systems that they're on that time. So it's going to be interesting now that they've kind of come out and said this. So Project Scarlet is in the works, and they announced that the game that is coming launch for the Scarlet is Halo Infinite, which I called from the beginning. I was like, okay, if they're gonna do, because during the conference they weren't showing Halo, and when they got near the end, I was like, okay, they didn't show Halo. I feel it's gonna be a Scarlet thing, and it was. So Halo Infinite is coming next year. It's gonna be a launch title. Should be pretty good. I have not played a Halo game since Halo 3, so hopefully this one's good. Depending on how this next console is, I may get a Scarlet, depending what they got. And yeah, that was Microsoft showing for E3 this year. You know, it was a pretty good showing. They showed some good stuff. Is it one of their best? I'd say no, but there was still some neat things in there. So, cause I feel definitely this is that in between year. So I feel next year's when they're gonna start popping off with some of the crazy stuff. It's kind of why Sony probably wasn't at E3, because like it's that in between year where it's like we're working on PS5 games and we have nothing to show. So rather than give you scraps, let's just drop. So yeah, you know, decent first showing for E3, and we still got a lot more conferences to watch and different things. So thanks for enjoying this recap. Microsoft did good, did pretty good.